Chris, we'll get to the fallout of the Novak Djokovic saga shortly. But first, I want to play you this clip.
The possibility of Samantha Shapiro's rescue dog getting severely sick from COVID is her worst nightmare.
Because she is much older, absolutely. I think she is a lot more susceptible to it.
To ease the fear, she wants her staffy vaccinated.
I would feel like so helpless and so defenceless knowing that possibly there was something that possibly could have saved her.
Would you vaccinate your pet?
Absolutely, why not?
I absolutely would. Well, I don't want my pet to get sick.
Oh my God.
Chris, what's going on? Have we as Australians completely lost the plot?
We have, Rita. Thanks for having me on. Great to see you. Looking forward to a great 2022 with you. But look, I've been travelling around the country a lot over the summer. While you've been in the States checking out how they're embracing a bit more freedom, I've just been staggered at what I've seen around me as I've travelled across New South Wales and South Australia. Look, there's so much fear in our community. There is a community, a public psychosis in this country among a large part of the population. They are so scared, they are so fanciful about this disease. Now, we all know it's a serious disease and a serious pandemic, but rational thought and the facts don't get a look in because most of the media and the politicians have just driven fear for 2 years now. And I just can't believe we're starting 2022, starting our third year of this pandemic with so much fear, so many restrictions, and now the nonsense of getting our pets vaccinated. That's, you know, I'm not a dog lover. I'd rather be putting the staffy down than giving it a vaccine. And a lot of viewers won't like that. Well, if you want to lower your carbon footprint, don't have pets. But honestly, vaccinated pets, I'm so worried, as you would be, Rita, as the parent of school-aged children, that we're going to have a third year of school interrupted because people are so paranoid about kids who really have nothing to fear from this disease, any of the variants, and also have the added protection now of vaccines. I mean, what are we doing to ourselves?
And what are we doing to the kids? You're right there. I'm going to be speaking to infectious disease expert who's also a professor of paediatrics, possibly the most qualified person in the country to talk about this push we're seeing from some quarters to delay the reopening of schools and to force kids to have unnecessary tests, multiple tests each week, just to be able to attend school. So we will get to that. But do you see an end to this hysteria? Do you see when almost 95% double vaxxed? At what point will we get to a point of view of, okay, we are all going to assess our own personal risk, and if we want to mask, we'll mask. If we want to socially distance or isolate, we'll do that. But we're not going to have these statewide mandates anymore. At what point is that going to happen?
Well, the point, Rita, is we should be there now, right? And this is not just my view. Like you, I don't just form my views, pluck them out of the air. We talk to experts day in and day out and read all the data and speak to some of the more sensible epidemiologists around the country. And in the height of summer in this country, with more than 90% of the eligible people vaccinated in this country, with a variant that is much more mild in terms of its effect on people than the other variants, if we can't open up and deal sensibly with living with the disease now, when could we possibly do it? We've got all the factors in our favour to deal with the disease. Instead, we have now this relentless political and media focus on testing. Where are the rats? We all have to have rapid antigen testing, and it's the government's fault that we haven't got them all delivered to our letterbox. I mean, you don't really need them, right? If you now get a fever and a flu-like symptoms in this country, you know you've got COVID. So if you're sick, stay home. If you're not sick, go about your life. If you've got those symptoms, don't spread it around. And if you get really sick, of course, go to a doctor or a hospital. But a lot of it, the answer, Rita, of course, is political, I think. I suspect a lot of the hysteria we see in the media about the supply of tests and the like is about trying to blame the Morrison government. So if there was a change of government at the federal election in May, if you had a Labor government, then the hysteria will die down dramatically from the media. You can guarantee that, as happened in the US. Suddenly the pandemic wasn't a political issue after Joe Biden became president, according to the media. So that's probably what we have to wait for. But really, we should be living lives now that are next to normal because, as I say, summer, 90% vaccination and a mild variant.
Absolutely right. And you're right about the Biden factor in the US. Suddenly those COVID counters disappeared from CNN and elsewhere. And each death wasn't blamed on the president as it was when Trump was in power. In 2021, they had more deaths in the States than 2020 under Trump, despite Biden inheriting 3 good vaccines.